Hi, everybody. I need to come on here and say something, and it is entirely about Jesus and how I feel that He has been using me as a disciple. And I know that might sound very bold or intense or far-fetched maybe for some of you, but for me it's very real, and I have a story I want to tell you. It's more so an experience, and I believe that it is extremely important to share because I can't keep it quiet anymore. It's very real, it's very powerful, and there's too many things in it that just I don't even have words because it's such a potent topic, and that might not even be the best choice of words, but it's real. It's very real. So this is what happened. So put the coronavirus aside. I mean, yeah, that's a big deal, but put the coronavirus aside. Throughout the past, especially couple years, a lot of things have been happening extremely negatively in our world. Yes, we do have beautiful, positive things happening, but we also have major negative things happening. And when we put that into the biblical aspect, I feel that a lot of the end times in the book of Revelations are being fulfilled. I've said this time and time again. I've said this to my friends. I've said this to my husband. I've said this to many people over the course of the years. Whether they think I'm nuts or not, that's on them. But I believe it's true. The famine and the struggle with being good human beings, and the sin and the violence and the fake prophecies, everything that is fake that people are trying to portray to be, that it's all false. The events leading up to the coronavirus and all the wildfires and all of the earthquakes and all of the evil and the wars, the sexual immorality, all the things in the Bible that state that have to be fulfilled for Judgment Day. It's happened. It's already happened. And it's happening as we speak. It's happened. It's happening. It used to scare me. It did. It used to terrify me because I always believed in God. I always believed in Jesus. I always had this spiritual connection in my soul and in my heart that I knew that they were real. I knew that God and Jesus were real. God, the Alpha, the Almighty, and Jesus, His Son, His only Son, are real. And some people are skeptical, and I pray for you because I want you to feel what I feel. I want you to feel what the rest of those in the world feel, and that is endless love and endless peace. There was a saying that I heard years ago that said, "No God, no peace." And it's N-O, like no God, no peace. But if you know God, like K-N-O-W, you'll know peace. This my dog is. Can you say hello? Say hi. Okay, all right. That's Oakley. But oh, thanks, bud. But and that is so true. To know that is to know that feeling, to have that wholehearted completeness, to know that there is power in Jesus. There is power and there is strength and there's everlasting everything, anything and everything that's good and beautiful and positive and uplifting is Jesus, is God. That's amazing. And my story leads up to this, or my experience. So about 3 weeks ago ish, my husband, he works swing shift. He had worked second shift, I believe, so 2 to 10, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I had decided to sleep in our daughter's room because when he gets home late, sometimes he can wake me up, and I just like to go where it's quiet. But I fell asleep in there, and then I woke up in there. Well, my dream that I had was about temptation. It was about sin. It was about doing the right thing. And it was about being tempted with sin and knowing how to do the right thing, and that's to walk away and say no. In my dream, I was tempted with sin. I was tempted, and I almost gave in, but I didn't, because I knew it was wrong. Not just for me, but for my soul. I knew it was wrong because I've been working hard on staying the best version of a follower of Christ as I can be. Am I flawed? Heck yeah. Am I perfect? Mm-mm. Do I have some stories I could share outside of this? You bet. But the beauty in all of that is I've beat everything. I've overcame it. I've conquered. I've succeeded. And now I'm moving forward with reinforcements. And my reinforcements is Jesus and is God. So in my dream, when I was being tempted with this sin, I said no, and I walked away. And mind you, this was, like I said, like 3 weeks ago. So it's hard for me to remember every, specific detail. But the details that do stick out to me are the most important ones, and is that I was tempted with sin. I said no in my dream, got away, and then in my dream it was very it just hopped to the next scene or the next event in my dream, if you will. And I was in a white wedding dress, beautiful. I mean, the train was not a mile long, but it was mile long, and just gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful white dress. And I was on top of this massive hill that had a church, and the stairs were just beautiful, massive, steep stairs, and it was just me in front of these doors, the church doors. And I looked back, and I could see people everywhere. And I think my husband was in my dream. Because like I said, it was a few weeks ago. I'm pretty sure he was one of the people at the bottom of the stairs at the church, along with many, many, many other people that were staring up at me, in amazement. They were just staring at me up on this incline of cathedral stairs, and I was in a white wedding dress with this massive veil, and I was lifted up, I was uplifted because I chose to not give in to sin. I was a new person, and I thought back to this lyric in this song, I don't remember the song, and that might sound bad, but it's a Christian song, and there's a lyric in there, or words in the lyric that say, like a bride waiting for her groom. Waiting for her groom. Me, the bride, in the white dress, on top of the church stairs, looking down at people, being the messenger, being the one waiting for her groom, pure of heart, clean, her soul uplifted. The groom, Jesus. Like a bride waiting for her groom. I was in a white dress, outside a church, on top of this massive, glorious hill, with the doors closed, and I was waiting. A few days after that dream happened, I came across this amazing inspirational video on Facebook about a woman who said that she had dreams leading up to the rapture and the second coming of Jesus, which I know I'm ready for, and I'm excited and I'm passionate, and I know in my heart that I will be in the book of life, and I will be able to live with Jesus, because I was the bride waiting for the groom on those church stairs, showing people, like, you can do this. I'm gonna cry. You can be saved. You can be saved. You just, good gracious, Ashley. You just have to repent. You have to believe, and you have to be vulnerable. You're human. But like I was saying, like 3 days later, I came across this video on Facebook of this inspirational video of this woman talking about how the end times were near, and how she had a dream that she went down into this deep dark hole, and there was all these kids in there, and they were like kids' articles of clothing, and I could go on and on. But long story short, her dream came down to that we're all being tempted with sin. The one thing that will get us to hell is sin, and not repenting for them. And she talked about children and how Satan targets children, the innocent, the weak, the vulnerable, even us adults that are weak and vulnerable, but not necessarily innocent, because we know better. So she sorry, that was really but she said that in this dream too, I want to say that it was Jesus or God that she was talking to, or I was talking to her in the dream, gave her this coin, and it was a 25-cent piece, and it was saying how she needed to go out and spread the word that that Jesus is coming soon. This 25-cent piece she got 25 days in the dream. The day that she got this was 25 days before Easter Sunday. This coming Easter Sunday. In her dream, this 25-cent piece represented 25 days to Easter. I'm not saying that Jesus is coming back in 25 days. No one on this face of this planet knows the exact date, time, location, whereabouts, so on when Jesus is coming back. I've listened to seminars, I've read stories, I've read verses in the Bible. Nobody knows when he's coming back. So I'm not claiming that that's what she is saying. Do I believe it? Mm-hmm. Do I believe it? Yes, I do. I will say that again. Do I believe that Jesus is coming back soon? Yes. There are too many things going on in this world for it not to be real. So this 25-cent piece was kind of like a time frame. So then I come across another video today, actually, of a woman who had similar dreams like myself, and the previous woman, or the video of the previous woman I was just talking about, and she said the same thing. She had dreams of the rapture coming soon. Friends, the end times we are in the end times. Do not joke about this. You need to ask God for forgiveness. You need to ask Jesus for forgiveness. You need to be one with the Father. If you don't know what that looks like, if you don't know how to do that, all you have to do is just be vulnerable and say, Lord, I don't know how to pray. I don't know what I'm doing, but I believe in you and I want to be saved and I want to come to heaven. Please forgive me of my sins. If you say that and you mean it, he'll know if you're meaning it, but you have to mean it. If you say that and you mean it, you will go to heaven. That's the whole plan. That's the whole goal, is to be with our loved ones, be with Jesus, be in the most amazing environment that we could ever imagine, even though we can't imagine it, because it's out of our realm. There's a reason that this coronavirus has happened. Yes, there's idiots out there eating animals that they shouldn't. But I'm saying that this coronavirus happened because it's forcing us to come together, because God and Jesus are saying we need to ask them for forgiveness, because this is what happens when humans decide to be a bunch of, you know what, and give in to sin, and give in to crap, society, images, lust, money. Is it worth not knowing where you're going to end up in for eternity? Is it not worth, or is it worth getting to the gates of heaven all to not be able to go in because you weren't good enough, because you chose to live a shitty life? This coronavirus has happened because it's meant for us to get closer to God and Jesus. Think about it. We're in the end days of of coming up to the rapture. What perfect timing for all of us to be home with our families, to worship God, to worship Jesus, and not be in society infecting each other, not just with this viral disease, but infecting each other with sin and immoral crap. It's real, people. It is real. In the video, she also said too, if you have children, know that they are innocent and they don't know any better. But you're supposed to take olive oil and you're supposed to draw the cross on their forehead and their feet so they may think like Jesus and they may walk like Jesus, because they don't know any better. We form them. So last night, call me crazy, I got extra virgin olive oil and I put the cross on my forehead, my daughter's forehead, my son's forehead, and I put it on my feet and their feet. And guess what else I did? Because we are also in Holy Week, I put a cross symbol on my front door with olive oil. Some of you may not agree, and some of you may think that I'm taking this too far. There is no such thing as too far when it comes to where I'm going to spend eternity, and where my children are going to spend eternity, and my husband are going to spend eternity. Please get to know the Lord. Please know that He is coming soon. Please know that you can live with Him forever and see your family forever. It's a beautiful thing. I'll leave you with this last thing and then I'm gonna let you go because I've been rambling now for 20 minutes and I'm sorry, kinda. But and I heard an old man on one of these seminars I've been watching that said he lived his life a long time in misery even though he had everything, money, women, success. But he was empty because he didn't have God. He didn't have Jesus. And he said that, look at all the things I accomplished without Jesus. Can you imagine what you can do with them? I love everybody, and I try to see the better and best in everybody right away. I pray that you take this seriously and know that the end times, we're in the end times. It's up to you to protect your soul and get to know Jesus for when he comes. And remember, Good Friday is this Friday, Saturday is Passover, and our Lord and Savior is risen on Sunday. Could he come back? Absolutely. Do I wish he comes back? Absolutely. Will I be ready? Absolutely.